pottery of broken things. In the village of Oak Haven, where the trees whispered in old dialects and the air always smelled of damp earth and wood smoke, there lived a girl named Maya. Maya was known for her laughter, a bright, percussive sound that seemed to chase away the morning mist. But lately, Oak Haven was quiet. Maya's laughter had vanished, replaced by a hollow, aching silence that lived in the center of her chest. She had experienced a heartbreak that felt less like a clean break and more like a slow crumbling. It was the kind of hurt that made the sunlight feel too loud and the bed feel like a vast, lonely continent. She felt as though she was walking through chest-high water every moment, heavy and exhausted. One Tuesday, a day so grey it felt like a charcoal sketch, Maya found herself standing before a small, lopsided shack at the edge of the woods. A sign above the door, peeling and weathered, read, "The Kingsuki Garden." Inside sat an elderly man named Silas. His hands were mapped with deep lines and stained with the grey of wet clay. He didn't look up when Maya entered. He was focused on a ceramic bowl that lay in a dozen pieces on his workbench. "I heard you fix things," Maya said. Her voice was small and brittle. Silas finally looked up. His eyes were on the color of the rain on the slate. "I don't fix them, Maya," he corrected gently. "I help them find their new shape. There is a difference." He gestured to the stool. "Sit. Tell me about the break." The weight of the shards. Maya sat, her hands twisted in her lap. She did not talk about the person she had lost. Instead, she talked about the feeling. She described the weight in her throat, the way her favorite songs now sounded like static, and the terrifying fear that she would never feel whole again. She felt like a dropped vase, shattered, useless, and sharp enough to hurt anyone who tried to pick her up. Silas listened, nodding slowly. He pushed a tray of raw, unformed clay towards her. "Heartbreak is a lot like raw clay," he said. "Right now, you are cold and stiff. You feel like you have been handled too roughly. But the secret to clay and to the heart is that it needs two things to become something beautiful: pressure and time." He took a piece of the shattered bowl from his bench. When something breaks, our first instinct is to hide the cracks. We want to glue it back together so perfectly that no one can tell it was ever damaged. We want to go back to being who we were before the heart. But that is impossible. You can never go back to being the before person. Maya felt a tear prick at her eye. Then what is the point? If I am always going to be broken, why try? Silas picked up a small brush and a pot of shimmering liquid gold. In Japan, they practice kintsugi. They join the broken pieces with gold. They don't hide the cracks. They pieces become stronger and more valuable because it was broken. It has a story now. It has survived. The 5 lessons of the garden. Over the next few weeks, Maya returned to Silas' shack every day. She did not give her a manual on healing. He gave her tasks. Through these simple acts, Maya began to understand how to handle her own heart. First, the kneading, that is, processing the pain. Silas had her spend hours kneading heavy clay. It was grueling work. Her arms ached and her palms grew sore. You have to work the air bubbles out, Silence told her. If you leave the air inside, the unsaid words, the trapped anger, the hidden tears, the piece will explode in the kiln. You have to push the pain into the clay. Don't be gentle with it. It can take it. Maya realized that she had been trying to be fine. She had been trying to hold her breath. As she slammed the clay on the table, she finally let herself cry, loud, ugly sobs that matched the rhythm of her work. For the first time, the weight in her throat began to lift. Second, the centering, that is, finding herself. Then came the potter's wheel. Silas sat her down and showed her how to center the clay. If the clay is not perfectly in the middle, the whole thing will wobble and collapse as soon as you start to build, he explained. Maya struggled. The clay kept flying off the wheel. She realized she was focusing too much on the external world, that is, checking her phone, wondering what he was doing, thinking about what people thought of her. Stop looking at the edges, Silas said. Feel the center. You are the center of your own life. Your happiness cannot be anchored to someone who isn't there. The third lesson, the drawing, that is, the necessity of stillness. There were days that Silas wouldn't let her touch the clay at all. It's too wet, he would say. If you try to shape it now, it will just slump. It needs to sit in the sun. It needs to do nothing. This was the hardest part for Maya. She wanted to be over it already. She wanted a distraction. This was the hardest part for Maya. She wanted to be over it already. She wanted a distraction. But Silas forced her to sit in the garden, watching the bees and feeling the wind. He taught her the rest is not a waste of time. Sometimes healing is simply the act of existing until the edges aren't quite so raw. The fourth lesson, the fire, that is, the transformation. Eventually Maya's first bowl was ready for the kiln. The fire is where the chemistry happens, Silas said as he closed the heavy door. The heat changes the molecular structure of the clay. It turns into stone. You are in the fire right now, Maya. It's hot and it's uncomfortable, but it's making you permanent. The fifth lesson, the gold, that is, the new beauty. When the bowl came out, it had a small crack near the rim. Maya was devastated. I did it wrong, she whispered. Silas just smiled. He handed her the pot of gold. This is where you choose your future, he said. You can look at this crack as a failure, or you can see it as an opportunity for the light to get in. Maya carefully painted the gold into the line. The bowl looked different now. It didn't look like a new store-bought-in dish. It looked like a treasure recovered from an ancient ship. It looked like it had lived. The bloom. Months passed. The air in Oakhaven turned crisp with the arrival of autumn. Maya was walking through the village square when she saw him, the person who had left the hole in her chest. Her heart did a strange familiar flutter. For a second, she felt the old phantom pain. But then she felt something else. She felt the cold. She realized that she did not need him to fill the hole, because the hole was already filled with her own strength, her own resilience, and the shimmering gold of the lessons she had learned. She didn't feel fixed. She felt transformed. She smiled at him, a genuine soft smile, and kept walking. She was not walking through the water anymore. She was walking on solid ground. Maya returned to Silas one last time. She bought him a basket of apples from her garden. "I think I am finished," she said. Silas looked at her. Her eyes were no longer like rain. They were like the sun hitting a clear lake. "You're never finished, Maya," he said, patting her hand. "But you are ready to be used. Go out and contain something beautiful. Fill yourself with new friends, new sunrises, new stories. You have a lot of room inside you now." The end. I hope you enjoyed it. This story is about heartbreak and how you can deal with the heartbreak. Don't lose yourself. We are all with you. The sun is with you. Smile, get up, be strong, be proud of yourself. Subscribe for more stories. Also do suggest what story you would love to hear next, or what you want me to crush in my YouTube shorts. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. See you until next time. Bye bye, my fancies.